Y'all, look what I see. Oh my gosh, these are amazing. There's 4 of them. They're the perfect patina as is. I just need to remove this screw. That is not an issue. This is so exciting. I'm definitely getting all of these. I will take this home with me. Just love how these rustic pieces look with glossy white ceramic pieces. I grabbed these birds on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description because I'm pretty sure they're still available. I have used them on a ton of different projects. I grabbed a little bit of hot glue and some Gorilla Glue, and I simply just glued these finials glued the birds to the tops of the finials, and now it's just a cute little decorative piece that you can use in your home. I also love how these dark wood rustic pieces look with IOD's air dry clay. So I love the birdsong mold. It is one of my favorites. So I grabbed it, and they have these 2 little birds that look at each other, and I just thought that would be perfect for these 2 finials. So I'm going to put my clay in, I'm going to pop out my molds, and then I am going to glue them to my wood finials while they are still wet. That way they will dry to exact curvature of the wood finial. And don't you just love the contrast between the dark wood and the white IOD air dry clay? I think I like doing these pieces because we're already starting off with a good base. The finials just have a really cool architectural look as is, and then when we add these glossy ceramic birds or little clay molds, it just takes it to the next level and really creates a unique piece of home decor. And I really love the contrast between the rustic wood and the crisp white. I think these will look great on their own, but they also look great as a set, and I think they look really cute as bookends as well. Ooh, a bin of kitchen stuff. I can definitely do something with this. The first thing I want to do is remove the handle from this basket. It is attached by rivets, and I'm going to show y'all a super easy way to remove rivets. You want to grab your drill and a drill bit that is larger than your rivets and just simply drill them out. It is super easy to do and comes apart great and doesn't destroy your piece. If you would have tried to pull this handle off, it would have definitely messed up the metal. These are some finials that I thrifted. Never pass these up at the thrift store, guys. I think they're going to go really great with this piece, but since the metal is so distressed, I feel like I also need to distress the finials. The finials already have a screw in them, which is perfect. It fits perfectly at the bottom of our basket. And I'm going to use a little bit of Gorilla Glue. That way everything is permanently together when it dries. But to attach these 2 pieces together, I'm actually going to use this little bead that came off of a garland. And I'm going to screw it onto the screw that is already there. And that's going to keep my leg tightly attached to my little metal basket. So this was just a very quick, easy way using items I already had in my stash to attach legs to this metal piece. So I'm going to attach the other 2 legs to the other 2 sides. And also this metal is pretty bendable. So once I have everything attached, I'm going to kind of bend the legs a little bit so they come out at an angle instead of being straight. I think that just looks better. And I also decided to add a little bit of hot glue just to make sure everything stays at the angle that I want. I decided to style this in my master bathroom. I put some little rolled up towels in it and some handmade soap, and it came out so cute that I am actually keeping this piece exactly like this. And since we're in my bathroom, I want to show y'all some other metal pieces that I have. I love a good colander. We use this one to hold the soap that my husband loves, and this one I'm just using as decor in the background with all of my other beautiful pieces in this cabinet. Y'all know I love thrifting vintage kitchen items, and I actually do use them all over my house. Look at this little rustic piece of wood. It has a bunch of holes at the top. It's definitely handmade, but I love when I find stuff like this. I know exactly what to do with it. I'm going to remove the twine on this piece because I don't want anything to take away from the beautiful texture on here. And if you watch my channel, you know that these metal picture holders are a staple in my stash. I use them for so many different projects. And for this one, I just want to use one of them. And then I have all of this beautiful greenery on the website. And sometimes at the bottom of the box, there's a sprig that has fallen off. Well, I keep all of those in case I need them for a project. So I'm going to glue my picture holder in the back, but in the center of the wood block. And I'm going to take all of my little sprigs of greenery. I try to keep it pretty neutral. I threw in a little bit of this beautiful lush purple color. And I'm just going to hot glue all of these pieces into the little holes. Another thing you always want to be on the lookout for at the thrift store is books with beautiful images in it. And this book is just full of all these beautiful florals. So I'm just going to pick out one that I think is going to go perfect on my little picture holder, and then this piece will be done. Now I thrifted this piece, but you could absolutely recreate it with a 4x4 block of wood, add some Dixie Belle chalk paint, distress it, and put some holes in the top. I think it's the perfect little addition to any vignette, and I really loved how it looked with this basket in the background. And you know they always have those at the thrift store, so be on the lookout for one to add to your vignette as well. Always pick up these spools of string. This is a wood round from Hobby Lobby and a little spindle from my stash. I'm going to take my Ryobi nail gun and I am going to nail the spindle to the wood round right in the center. I want all of the wood to look old, so I'm going to be taking the Fusion Antiquing Glaze and just brushing it on. It's just a super quick, easy way to make new wood look old. And this is going to match a lot better with my spool of twine. I want to add one more thing. I have this piece of wire and I'm going to twist it around the top of my spindle and create a little hook. And then I have these scissors that I rusted, and then I added a little bit of a black wash to get the look that I wanted. And I'm just going to hang them on the little hook that I created. And I feel like that's going to be the perfect little extra touch to finish these off. I have another idea for this spool. I have a spindle, it's symmetrical. I feel like that's best for this project. And I have 2 pieces of wire, and I'm gonna wrap each wire around each side of the spindle. Now, before you do the second one, you wanna make sure to put your spool on there. And if you actually used it and you wanted to change it out, it's pretty easy to take these wires off. And then I'm going to take my 2 pieces of wire and twist them together. I like to twist a lot because I like the texture of all that twisted wire. And then I'm going to make a hook, kind of like a coat hanger. And I'm going to bend over the end just so there's not a sharp edge. And I also think it looks a little bit better. These projects were so simple and so easy to create, and I just absolutely love the way they look. I kept mine kind of natural wood, but you could also paint your wood. You could do different color spools, like some spring ones would be fun this time of year, but no matter what, y'all need to be on the lookout for some rolls of string like this. In this bin, they have a bunch of these old lights. Look at these brass bases and the patina on them. All right, I think we need to do some of these. The first thing I need to do is take these apart. It's really easy. Unscrew the light bulb. I cut the cord with some scissors, and then the rest of it just all unscrewed from itself. Also, a lot of lamps are like this. So if you see a lamp you like, grab it. You can always take it apart and use the pieces. This is the Late Bloomers candle ring in the color cream. The Late Bloomer collection is one of my favorite on the website. And you can actually pull this wreath apart and the flowers come out in little bunches that are the perfect size for these little brass bases. All I'm going to do is hot glue the florals into my brass pieces. And from this one candle ring, I was able to make 6 of these pieces. This piece is just so unique and so adorable, and the perfect size to stick in any vignette that you already have set up around your house. I styled it in several different areas in my house, and as you can see, It fits in perfectly with my current decor. Look at these cute little pears. Oh, and the leaf is actually metal. I don't love the color on these, but I think we can fix that. I really like the gold metal leaves, so I grabbed the painter's tape and I covered those up. I'm thinking milk paint is going to be the perfect paint choice for this project. If you've never used milk paint before, it's half powder, half water, and you just mixed it up. I'm using Gustavian white. It's one of my favorite milk paint colors and looks so good with gold. So I feel like this is going to be the perfect paint color, and I'm just dabbing it on. I'm just going to do one coat, but I do want it to be thick, because what you do with milk paint, if you want an extra chippy finish, is you glob it on pretty thick, you grab your heat gun and you dry it. And what that does is it causes the paint to dry in place, giving it lots of texture, and making it dry so fast causes it to chip even more. So let me show y'all what it looks like. Check out all of this chippiness. Now you can wet distress this, you can distress it with sandpaper, but all I'm going to do is simply rub it and let it chip where it wants to, and it is giving me the exact look that I wanted. On this pair, I only painted the top half, the colors that I didn't like, because I was loving the gold, and I let the paint drip and it came out absolutely amazing. Now you definitely want to seal up your chalk paint. This is my new favorite sealer. It's Dixie Bear clear coat in a flat finish, and y'all, I have tried lots of clear coats, and even though it says flat, matte, ultra matte, it never is. But y'all, this sealer truly is matte. It goes on so smooth. It's my absolute favorite. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend. This project came out exactly like I wanted. Before, the pears had 3 different transitioning colors, and I really wanted it to just be white, chippy, with some of that beautiful shiny gold coming through, and I believe I achieved the look that I was going for. Y'all, let me know what y'all think. Round gold picture frame. These are a rare find, and I have a great idea for this. I want to paint this frame black. I'm using Fusion paint in the color ash. It's kind of an off black color, and I'm just doing one quick coat on here. Then I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm going to hit all of the details and the edges and bring back some of that gold. It's just a quick, easy way to distress this piece, and I love the combination of gold and black on a frame. I think it's just such a high-end look. This is some handmade paper that I order off of Amazon. I just love the texture of it. I actually think it's watercolor paper. So I'm going to take the glass of my frame, I'm going to trace out a circle and then cut it out. And then I'm going to take the Franz transfer. I love this transfer. You get 4 pages of different botanicals, bigger pieces, smaller pieces, so you have lots of options. So I picked out a small piece of greenery that fit perfectly on here, and I'm going to transfer it onto this watercolor paper. I've used tons of transfers on this paper, and it comes off easy and looks absolutely beautiful, almost like it was printed on there. I absolutely love the look of this, and the size is great too, because you can just kind of stick it in a vignette, but you could also put some string on it and hang it on a hook. I love little bowls of goodies, and I know you do as well. I found all of these empty wooden spools, and although they look cute as is in this bowl, I feel like we can take them to another level. The first thing I want to do is the lighter ones. I want to antique them. So I grabbed my Fusion antiquing glaze, and I'm just going to give them a little coat and a little makeover. Then I grabbed the IOD Rose Toile stamp and the IOD Alpha Belly stamp. This is one of my favorite. It has all of these little embellishments that you can use on it, and I decided to go with the China Blue ink. I looked through my stash to find 2 rectangle objects that are smaller than the spools. You'll see in a minute how this really helps out. So I grabbed the typography from the Rose Toile stamp, and I'm inking it up, and I'm going to put it on the little rectangle piece that I have, and then I'm just going to roll my spool across it, and this is going to be so much easier than trying to roll the stamp onto the piece. This spool still had a little string on it, and I like that, so I just found a stamp that I could put on top of it, y'all. How cute are these? Bows are super popular right now, so I added a cute little bow. I really like how that spool looked with a little bit of twine on it, so I decided for the other smaller ones, I would just add my own twine. So I'm sure y'all have some twine in y'all stash. I'm just going with white, but you know, you could go with different colors for the different seasons, and I think that would be super cute. So I'm just simply wrapping around. It's as easy as that. This project was so much fun. I love working on these smaller little embellished projects, and you put them in a bowl and look, they look so much cuter with their little embellishments, but we're going to take them and style them in different ways now. Y'all, how precious are these in this tall apothecary jar? I love them, and they have a hole in them so you can stick little sprigs of greenery in it, little tiny Christmas trees at Christmas time. They are just so cute. And you've seen me do this on videos before where you can take a piece of metal wire and create your own picture holder. If you have any more ideas for these spools, definitely leave a comment below. I always pick up these clear pots when I find them at the thrift store. I'm not exactly sure what they're for, but they always come in these unique shapes. So I grab them and I like to use them for home decor. I had this idea. We're just going to pretend this is for coffee. I'm probably wrong, but y'all can let me know in the comments. But I thought I would add coffee beans instead of dirt or little rocks. And unfortunately, you can't thrift coffee beans, so I had to pay $10 for these coffee beans for this video. Now I'm gonna take my thrifted succulents and I'm gonna add them to the pots, and I think it's just such a cute twist. Like I said, since this is, you know, for coffee, we're gonna put coffee beans in here instead of dirt or rocks. I really love this look, and I also like a natural look. So I think if you wanted to take this and actually plant a real plant in here, that would be really cool to see the dirt and the roots. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. And you've probably seen this pot many times in my videos because I always have it in my home decor. I filled it with lemon, so that is another idea. You can take these and fill it with fruits or vegetables. I always pick up wooden bowls when I find them at the thrift store. These are wood, but I do not like the fruit that is painted on them, so I decided to give them a makeover. I think milk paint is going to be the perfect option for these bowls. It's going to give us a nice old chippy look and bring back some of that wood, but also cover up the painted on fruit that we do not like. So if you haven't used milk paint before, it comes in a powder form and you mix half powder with half water, and you just want to mix up the amount that you're actually going to use. A little bit goes a long way with this product. I am using Fusion milk paint in the color Acadiana. It's one of my favorite milk paint greens, and you just want to get your first coat on there, let it dry, and then you can see with your second coat, you usually get full coverage. And once my piece has completely dried, I'm going to take some sandpaper and just lightly hit the edges. Also, the amazing thing about milk paint is it does chip and crackle a little bit to give you that old, authentic, vintage look that we are going for when you use milk paint. To seal this piece up, I'm going to be using Fusion's hemp oil. I'm just going to pour it in the bowl and use my Dixie Belle French tip paintbrush. This is my favorite for sealers and waxes. I'm going to put it on the entire piece. You want to let it sit for about 20-30 minutes, and then you're going to wipe off all of the excess, and it's not going to be glossy like this. Once it dries, it's going to be a nice matte finish. I just love how easy it is to get that authentic, aged, chippy look when you use milk paint. And when I thrift these wood bowls, I like to get several of them so I could just stack them up on a shelf and put a piece of decor in them. I got this piece at the bins because I thought it was really cute. I could turn it into a bell or even a little cloche. When I got home, under further inspection, I realized it was actually a wooden little candlestick and a glass votive cup. Genius. And of course, I had both of these items in my stash. I immediately grabbed them, grabbed my hot glue gun, and put them together. I also had this random wood piece and another little glass piece with a cute little fluted edge like the other one. So I took my hot glue gun and hot glued these two pieces together as well. I wanted them to hang, so I just grabbed some white ribbon out my stash. They have a little hole in the bottom of these candlesticks, probably where they were on the machine to be hand turned. And I'm just going to stick the ribbon in there. So I'm going to do this for the two that I use the candlestick for, and then the random wood piece, I'm just going to take my ribbon and tie it around. And it was feeling very shabby chic to me, so I decided to grab some lace and also add a little bit of lace to the top of these pieces. To create the ringer, all I did was I grabbed some string and a wooden bead, tied a few knots to keep everything together. Then I hot glued it to the inside center of the glass piece. And the best thing is that it actually works. It sounds like a bell. These look so precious hanging in my bedroom. I love the mix of glass and the wood tones. I kind of went with a shabby chic look, but I think these would be fun for Christmas and also even as a wedding decor. Do you have any more ideas for these? Y'all leave a comment below. I did find this book. It is missing the binding, but I thought this part was really pretty, so I'm gonna get it. I thought it was a Reader's Digest, but I don't think it is. Since the binding is missing on this book, I feel like it is the perfect opportunity to add something. I'm going to be using IOD's lock and key mode and the aluminite fast casting resin. I sell all of these products on my website. The resin comes in two different bottles, A and B, and you want to pour equal parts A and B in a cup, and then you mix it together. It is a fast casting resin, so you don't have a lot of time. You want to work pretty quickly. Once it's mixed up good, you are going to pour it into your mold, and then you're going to wait for it to dry. And resin is great to use if you want to get your project done quickly, because in about 10 minutes, you're going to have a very hard resin casting from the mold that you'll be able to use on your projects. It dries white, so if you want white, you don't even have to paint it. It is great for outdoor projects as well because it gets so hard. So it just depends what project I'm using on if I decide to use resin or clay in my molds. And after, about 2 to 5 minutes, they are ready to be popped out. They are a little bit bendable at this time, so even if you want to put them on a curved surface, you can pull them out before they're fully dry, and they are bendable. The book does have some white and gold in it, so I'm thinking that's going to be a good combination for these resin castings. I'm going to be taking the Dixie Belle Gold Gilding Wax, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to be dry brushing it on. So the gold's going to be on the raised details, but I'm still going to have a little bit of white on there. The longer mold, I'm going to take that and I'm going to glue it to the binding. And I think the white and the gold was just the perfect color combination for this book. And the two keys that I painted gold, I'm going to take those and glue them on the end of a piece of lace. And I'm going to tie that piece of lace in a knot. I also added another piece just for some more color and texture. And I'm going to put it in the book just like a bookmark and have the keys dangling down the front. And I think that is so cute. I'm just using it as decor, but you could definitely make some actual bookends. And IOD has so many different molds and different themes. You could have tons of fun making bookends with some IOD molds, some resin, and some paint. And I love how this piece came out and how you can take the IOD products and add these embellishments and really take your piece to the next level. I didn't want to waste any of my resin, so I just poured until I ran out. So I have several castings left over, and I had this brush right next to me on my workbench, and I decided it needed a little extra something. So I'm going to add one of the castings from the lock and key mode to it, but first I want to paint it. I think Fusion Paint in the color Inglenook is going to be perfect, and it's very similar to the color of the book that I just made over. Once my paint has dried, I'm going to hot glue the casting to the top of the brush, and then I'm going to take some Dixie Belle white wax, and I want to apply the wax to the wood and also the resin casting, and these will just bring the two pieces together. And I love how the white wax brings out the details of the mold, but also gives the wood more of a white weathered look. So you just apply the wax and then you wipe it off with a dry paper towel. And this was just a quick, fun, easy project, and this brush is no longer on my work desk staring at me. It is done. Here's a big urn. Look at this thing. It's probably like 1.5 feet tall. And it has some damage right here. But I wonder if I could make this look cool with maybe a textured paint technique or something. Look, it already has some built-in cracks. It would look beautiful with some tall sprigs of greenery coming out. This would be great to put on the floor as well if you just need something in a corner. All right, I think we're gonna get it. The first thing I want to do is just sand the spots that have chips just to make them nice and smooth. Now I want to add even more texture to this piece. I'm taking Fusion's Cathedral Taupe and Dixie Belle Sea Spray, which is a texture additive that can be added to any paint. I'm not going to apply it to the whole piece. I'm just going around in random areas and really making it thick and trying to get as many peaks and textures as I can in the areas that I did apply it to. Now I'm going to take Dixie Belle's Patina paint in the color Iron. It's kind of like this beautiful grayish black color, and I'm going to apply it to the entire piece. It took 2 coats of paint to get the coverage that I wanted on here. This is what it looks like after my 2 coats have dried, and I wasn't worried about full coverage because I'm going to go back and sand the entire thing, especially in the spots where I added the Cathedral Taupe. I'm going to sand those peaks that I created down, and that color is going to come through as well as the color of the original pot. We are going for lots of texture and color variation in this piece. All right, guys, here is where the magic happens. So with the patina paint, you want to get the patina sprays. And I really like the combination of the blue spray and the green spray. So I am spritzing both of those on the piece, and I'm dabbing with a paper towel just to kind of get them to mix together and not have any spray marks. And I want to go super thick on the top and the bottom. I am okay if it drips down because that's going to create a really cool effect at the end. So I want lots of color variation at the top and the bottom of this piece, and then you'll see how the middle is just a little bit more muted. And the patina spray will only react with the areas that have the Iron patina paint. So all those areas that I sanded the patina paint off will not have a reaction, and it's going to make a really cool effect. It takes a minute for the reactions to start happening, so you just want to spray it and then walk away for about an hour and then come back and look at it. You will be amazed. So let's go ahead and cut to the final pictures of this piece. This piece came out exactly like I imagined and looks amazing in my house. So with the Iron patina paint and the green and the blue spray, you get these amazing colors, a rusty effect. I absolutely love it. I put it in my master bathroom, and although I thought it looked great there, I feel like it's too small. So while I'm on my thrifting adventures, I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for a bigger piece just like this that I can do the same effect to and put in this spot. I just can't believe how amazing this $3 piece came out, and I loved it so much I had to find a spot for it in my house, so it is in my living room. Here's a bin full of glass. You got to be careful because sometimes there's broken glass. I like the shape of this. I guess it's a candle holder, but I think it could be a cloche as well. This is my favorite thing to do. Let's take a bunch of random things that I have in my stash. We're going to put them all together and make something cute. I want to create a lot of layers, so I'm going to take this round piece of wood and glue it to this finial. This other piece of wood, I want the base layer to be dark. So I took Fusion paint in the color chocolate, and I'm going to give it a nice coat of dark brown. Once everything was dry, I took my favorite Dixie Belle chalk paint color, drop cloth. It is perfection. I use it all of the time. I'm going to cover all of these pieces in a coat of chalk paint. And once all that is dry, I'm going to hit it with some sandpaper and distress all of the edges and bring back that darker wood. So I used a Fusion all-in-one paint in the color chocolate, so that way it has a built-in sealer and I can put chalk paint over it and distress back and see that darker brown. My favorite way to distress is using both sandpaper and a wet rag or a paper towel. I feel like it gives me the most natural distress look. Now it's time to bring all of the pieces together. I'm using Gorilla Glue. Put it on my brass base, and I'm going to glue that wood round right in there, y'all. That was a perfect fit. Couldn't have been any better. Now I'm going to take my glass candle holder, whatever it is, turn it upside down because it is now going to be a close with those cute little ruffled edges, and I'm going to glue this wood piece on top. And this is why you can't throw anything away. You might need it one day. I really love the bubble shaped glass of this. It kind of reminds me of a snow globe and could be really fun to style for the different seasons. Y'all know I'm never passing up a cute little brush. I don't even remember where this one came from. It was in my stash, so we're gonna embellish it and make it a little bit cuter today. I have these resin castings. This is from the IOD Primitive Mold, and I also sell the fast casting resin on my website. I just used the little leaves, and I'm going to put a longer leaf at the top and then a smaller leaf at the bottom, and I'm gonna glue it on both sides just using hot glue. And now I want to paint this cute little brush up. I'm going to be using Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Weeping Willow. It is an absolutely beautiful color, and I'm going to be using one of my favorite brushes, the Stall Master brushes. And all of these products are available on my website, juliesdesignsandsigns.com. So I'm going to get one quick coat on here, and then I want to go back and distress some of that wood through. And you can also distress the resin if you want a little bit of that white to come through as well. I really like using brushes in my vignettes. I added some string to this one and hung it on a hook. And I really loved the addition of the little resin leaves in this one. And the green color is just perfection. This is another area in my room where I have an older antique brush styled in a vignette, and I love these brushes. You will find them all over my house. I also love this beautiful floral. They're the Lamplighter Buds. They sold out immediately the last time I got them, and I just restocked them. They look beautiful in my home, and I know they will look beautiful in your home as well, so go grab some. I love this little basket treasure chest. It's adorable. It's $1.99. It does have this on here, but I'm pretty sure I can take that off and replace it with something else. To take the decorative piece off, I used my heat gun, and that just melted the glue, and I was able to take it off without damaging the basket at all. I didn't really like the orangey color of this basket, but I also did not want to paint it. So I decided to bleach it. I have done this before and it worked great. So I just added some bleach to a container of water and then placed it in there for about 30 minutes. I want to add some embellishments to our cute little basket chest. I'm going to be using the IOD Lock and Key Mode and the Luminite Fast Casting Resin. These are available on my website. Now on the key, I wanted to drill a hole. Once the resin is hard, it is very easy to just drill a hole in it. I want to go with a shabby chic theme for our cute little chest basket. So I'm going to be painting the embellishments pink. I'm using Fusion paint in the color Rosewater, which is an absolutely gorgeous kind of medium tone pink. Next, I'm going to add the Fusion Antiquing Glaze. This is just going to look a lot better on the basket, and it's also going to bring out all of the details of this mold. So I'm just going to paint it on the entire piece and then wipe back the excess with a dry paper towel. This is how the basket looks once it's dried, and I've done this a few times and every basket comes out different. Sometimes it bleaches as a whole lot. For this one, it wasn't a huge change, but I definitely liked the lighter look and the more aged look that the bleach gave it. So I'm going to glue my little embellishment on the front, and then I'm going to tie the little key onto the handle of this basket, and then we're going to style it up. How precious did this turn out? Just a few small simple changes made all the difference. And if you have a darker basket that you're not really liking, definitely try the bleaching method and see how it comes out.